action. The first resolution is authorizing the county administrator to enter into an agreement with Certic, Dowd, and Turner LPA to be approved by the county prosecutor.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Grossman?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
And I have a second resolution terminating the Deputy Director of Facilities Management.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Grossman?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
And that's all I have.
Very good. We will close the
Motion, do you need a motion
Motion to
to
adjourn.
adjourn?
motion to adjourn, yes.
So moved.
Second.
And yes. And now we will convene our general work session. Let's see. What do I want?
Records in the archives, Tori Otten.
Very good. Ms. Otten? Records and archives.
Good morning.
Morning.
You're coming too. All right. Good morning. I am Tori Otten with the Record Center and Archives. I'm the Assistant Archivist for the county. In 2 years, America is celebrating their semi-quincentennial, which is 250th celebration of the United States. Ohio has created its own commission to celebrate called America 250 Ohio. They are allowing different communities throughout the state of Ohio to become designated communities. Thank you very much. And we are asking today that a resolution be passed to allow Warren County to be a designated America 250 Ohio community. This would allow us, as you can see, this specifies to plan, encourage, develop, and coordinate the commemoration of the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States and the impact of Ohioans in the nation's past, present, and future. If we were to pass a resolution to become an America 250 community, that would allow us to join in with other communities across the state of Ohio to be a location celebrating signature events, to recognize Ohio's contributions to the past 250 years of America.
Specifically Warren County, of course.
Specifically Warren County, which is our goal. And this is going to be an opportunity to network with other entities within the county itself, but also throughout other areas in the state of Ohio. And there are going to be different grants, other things available once you become a designated community. The only thing we need today to start is a resolution saying that the commissioners,
We don't necessarily.
we don't need it today. That is the only thing we need to move forward. We don't have to be that quick.
Yeah, the hope is that we'll have a resolution. We just wanted to make sure that this is something that the commissioners would be able to endorse, and that they would be comfortable with us becoming one of the communities. Hamilton County has become a community. I work really well, or I have worked well with and know the community leaders that are doing that in Hamilton County. This is a perfect opportunity for Warren County to get the ball rolling. We would like to have the resolution prepared if the commissioners so choose to allow us to do so, and by the end of this month or next month. And so we wanted to, if you guys had any questions with regards to what this means for us, that we wanted to give you guys that opportunity. As you can see, the map, these are some of the communities that have also started to be designated. Again, if you have any questions, please let us know. We're really excited about the opportunity, and we hope that this is something that you guys will also be excited to put on a big party for Warren County, similar to what the county did back in 2003 with the bicentennial. I know that that was a great opportunity, that we had so many community leaders that were able to be a part of it. It was an incredible revenue source also for the county, because we had so many people coming in and out. It was a whole year process, being able to have so many individuals, travel in and out of the county every year just because they're going to different events and different things. So it's just another way for us to capitalize on that, and then also bring our communities closer together in the next 2 years.
Sounds
So
great.
Yeah, sure.
we love to hear it. The thing with a designated community, to be a recognized community by the state of Ohio, you require 1 or 2 representatives from, for us, it would be county representatives. That would be myself and Candace Miller. Jen as well would contribute to this. We would also love the opportunity if a county commissioner would like to join in. We would absolutely love that. And then we need someone from a non-government entity, and we are currently going to contact the Convention Bureau, and perhaps maybe Park District can get involved as well. And then we can add more than that. It's just those are the basics that we need.
Good ideas,
Great.
and we can consider that amongst us.
Mhm.
And no, this all sounds super positive and put me in a good mood until I then realized I remembered the 200 pretty well. And it's like, wait a second, how old am I now? Yeah.
But yes.
Wow.
Great.
So yeah,
Thank you.
move forward.
Awesome, thank you guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Just give us the resolution here and we'll put it on their
Will do.
consent when it gets
Wonderful.
up on.
Candy, we'll work with Candace
Yep.
and we'll get you guys something here soon.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. We've got a work session with regional planning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Cameron Krasinski with the Warren County Regional Planning Commission, and I am here today with RPC staff as well as zoning staff to speak to you about some potential amendments to the Warren County Rural Zoning Code. And we are here today just for a work session, so we are just interested in gathering your thoughts before any time is spent writing regulation, and we just wanted to get your feedback today on if you would like for us to proceed with these amendments. So there's two sections today that we're looking to cover. I will be going over the first portion, which is actually listed at the bottom, that's section 2.302.1, and then I will turn it over to the zoning department to speak to you about section 3.102.10, being solar energy systems. And if you remember a couple months ago, we had spoken about potentially adding some amendments to the zoning code pertaining to if it's 50 megawatts or less. So we've collected some findings and some information, and we're here before you today to gather your thoughts. And here's a look at the process. This is the full timeline for actually amending the zoning code. So as I mentioned, we're just here today for the work session. We're not looking for initiation of these amendments. I just want to get your thoughts on what we have today. And if you do want amendments, if you want to proceed with these amendments, we'll schedule a follow-up meeting with you for initiation.
Sure, and you've got proposed amendments.
For the first portion, for the second portion, yeah, we just have some draft regulations for you to review, but not actual regulations for you to initiate.
Or what are the proposed amendments?
The proposed amendment, there's just two sections that we're looking to speak about with you.
Oh, I know that, I just want, but there's specifics, right?
Yeah, we have specifics, and we just want to see if you actually want to proceed with those. We'll actually work on writing those regulations, but we have just a draft summary of what we're looking to bring forward.
Well, what are you looking to change? The lot width, the minimum lot width, the maximum lot depth, that's what it's about?
There are two sections. This is the summary of what we're looking to cover today. So it's just clerical amendments to minimum lot width, and then regulating solar energy.
Yeah, I know, you're not talking about the solar because that's somebody else is gonna talk about that, right?
Right.
So I was just, the clerical amendments to minimum lot width for clarification are what you're changing. And that's just clarifying various differences involving lot widths, that's it, lot width, minimum lot width and maximum lot depth, that's what it's about?
That's correct. And that's for the first portion, yes.
Okay,
The
that's,
sec-
that's what we're talking about. And so what is the difference? What, is this clarifying something? It's just because it's not clear right now?
Correct. Yeah, that's what the first portion will be covering, that I'll be going over with you.
Okay, well, I don't have any problem with clarifying something.
Okay.
But, so we're not changing minimum lot size?
No, we're not changing minimum lot size. This will be just clarification on the existing table. There's no actual change in the regulation. It's just some minor amendments to the table itself.
Bruce, do we want to do this?
Yeah, they do, and they're deleting 3 words and they're adding a bunch of words, but that's it. The blue is add and the red striked out is deleted, right?
That's correct, yes.
That's the whole thing.
So tell them what you want their feedback on, and tell them an example of what brought this to your attention.
Yep, so the only change here, again, it's no change in actual regulation. It's just a minor amendment to this table, as well as to the notes of this table, which is on the follow-up slide. We just had a recent developer come through that was a bit confused on this table on where we actually calculated minimum lot width. We actually do it at the front building setback line, which it states there, so we just are looking to clarify this table to make sure that this developer and all future developers are aware of our standards. So it's no change in regulation or interpretation, just clarification. Do you have any questions about this portion?
No.
Okay.
And I'm okay with this? Yes. Okay.
Well, wait a second. Am I okay with the whole thing? Because then we can just dispense with
Well,
this
no, yeah,
discussion.
the solar stuff's different, yeah.
Okay, well, that's everything I had to cover for you.
Yeah,
So
it's good.
I'll turn it over to Ray with the zoning department to speak to you about solar energy systems.
Good morning, my name is Ray, I work for you in the zoning department. I'm here to talk today to seek your guidance in reference to the solar production measured at below 50 megawatts. Currently, we know what we're doing with the 50 and above. We are seeking guidance for the below 50. This is a video slash PowerPoint presentation of the current activities around the county, Butler County, Preble County, Clinton County, Claremont County. These are 50 and above, just a graphic showing you what is going on around us. Currently, there's nothing going on in the Warren County area. At the production that we're looking at, which is below 50, there is a solar farm known as the Zoo property. It is currently measured approximately 19 megawatts, and it is 233.56 acres. Was approved as a site plan, that slide is incorrect, and it is currently zoned as PR, public recreation. Some of the pictures that are there, you can see what's currently going on as we speak. There's no buffers there on Hamilton Road, and then the aerial is the current panels that are in place now.
Well, so there's really, out of the 233 acres, there's probably 200 acres of actual solar
Footprint.
panels there, looks like?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Some more pictures of the zoo. Pictures on the left are what it used to be prior to the implementation of the solar. Same with below, and then there's an aerial of what it used to look like. And then the top right is the buffer that they're currently installing at Nickel, which is really what we're after. Mr. McGarry commented on that. They are definitely making progress. The lower picture is something that we're trying to regulate with your permission, which is the debris and from the construction of the sites. Trying to keep that stuff out of the road and maintain the roads to where they currently are. And then again, on the right is the aerial photograph. Not on the slide, but currently the other existing and functioning solar facility is at Armco Park. It is a small facility, it's 276 kilowatts, consists of 745 370 watt panels. Still not anywhere near a 1 megawatt facility. This is the section of the ORC that gives the county commissioners the authority to govern small solar. And once again, small solar is defined in the ORC as 49 or below 50 is what the definition says. This is currently what we have in our zoning code, and it's for the solar panels that are on your roof and in the backyard of your residence. It's all power that is generated primarily for the user and only backfeeds the grid when the power is not consumed. So there's no, and we call this accessory, but there's no production for profit, if you will. This is the current zoning districts in the uses. As you can see, we currently define solar energy system, and it is a P, which for permitted in all of our zoning districts.
But when that was adopted, I'm sure that's relative to putting solar panels on your roof.
Absolutely, sir, you're correct, yes.
It really didn't really contemplate we're
We
gonna
had
have
no
a
idea.
mini solar farm on property.
That is correct. So in the,
I was just gonna add, Ray.
Yes, sir.
He was showing you the statute a moment ago. That just came about in 2023. or maybe it was 2022, but so it's a recent legislative enactment that gives you the authority to do this.
Okay, so then you're suggesting that we make this a conditional use?
What we would, if given the authority to go forward, what we would do is we would break it down into anything that was below 50 would be considered principal solar energy production facility. And in that, there's 3 subcategories because there's different methods to support those or to implement those into the system. There's ground pole mounted, roof or building mounted, and other structure mounted integrated systems. So those are the 3 that we would be focusing on as far as 49 and below production levels. We would simply add that and then apply them across the zoning districts to whatever we wanted, whether it was conditional use or permitted. And then we would leave alone the current that we have.
But the real impetus for today is getting a direction from the board relative to this is a new technology or being applied in a new way, and there's new legislative authority to regulate this within our zoning code.
That is correct.
And within our zoning code, we have the ability to encourage certain things and let it rip, and we have the ability to be super restrictive on things, and it only fits into a certain box,
Yes, sir.
right?
Absolutely.
And so you're kind of getting a direction from us of, hey, is this great, and let them rip everywhere in the county, any landowner that wants on 200 acres or actually it's 400 acres, right? Because if the zoo's at 200 and producing about half of that, it could be up to 400 acres of these solar panels anywhere. So it could be up to 400 acres this qualifies for with today's technology, if my math was right. So what do we want that to look like?
Absolutely.
And
And so-
you've given us some proposed standards that are rather detailed and lengthy. And what is the approval process that we would have to go through? Because I'm not prepared to do that today with these things.
No, we're not here.
It's-
All we want from you today is the approval to move forward as a group, RPC, zoning, and Mr. McGarry, and put together a proposal that you would look at and say, okay, we're good with it, or we're not. Right now, we're doing nothing more, we're not wasting any more manpower or
Okay, well,
county time.
from my standpoint, of course, you should be doing that. We've got new authority to do this now. It's appropriate for us to enter into new standards with regard to this. You need to go out and do whatever your due diligence is and figure out what the best way with Bruce McGarry and others as to the language. I see a bunch of stuff here, and then come back to us once you've run that up the totem pole.
Commissioner Grossman, I think the reason that Cameron and Ray are here is that I think at the first meeting this year, I think there was some direction that you didn't want the staff to come back to you with things that were already baked, whether you agreed with the idea or not. And that's why they're standing in front of you now saying, is this something that we can sit there and pursue? So you'll see more of this as the year progresses of things that come up, but they just want to make sure that they get your guidance before they put a lot of staff time into something maybe you did or didn't agree with them going to do.
Correct, and you're also looking for a philosophical approach of how the county wants to address this in zoning. You know, clearly, the first one is just an administrative clarification on lot size width. That's not a directional, philosophical, how are we gonna do this? You're asking something new. We should develop standards. Based on what? On your personal or, staff's personal feeling on these solar wind farms, they're great, let them rip, we want them everywhere. And there's no buffering, there's no this is the future. That is one approach. The other approach is, do we really want our farmland, eaten up by this, or, where the neighbors are seeing it all the time? Do we want them partitioned? Do we want them behind mounding facilities? Those are really important questions for you guys, aren't they?
Yes, sir, and we field those once a week with the existing structures that we're dealing with. We get complaints, so it would be nice to have your guidance and to try to pursue something to control those the buffers and other areas.
Correct, so that's what it is. It's not, hey, staff, go come up with standards. Then they would do, and I hate to use the word bias, but whatever they feel on this particular new area, and again, that's just a natural human thing of, hey, this is great, let's let it rip. And they would come up with standards based on that versus what is the board directing our staff who is reflecting our approach to this new regulation. What do we want this to look like? How do we want this written into our zoning code? What do we want these, and it's not a mini, small solar farm. I mean, it's up 500 acres could be consumed with one of these.
That's correct.
Bruce, am I thinking about this correctly?
Yes, but also, if you look at the chart they've broken down, it's also gonna include, ground, not only the pole mounted, but roof mounted or being put on some other kind of structure. So it's gonna be the whole gamut. It's not just gonna be the one. But your comments are focused more on the pole mounted stuff like it's out at the zoo property. Another example, the way to look at this is, once upon a time, RPC staff brought forward some proposed regulations on a new concept in our community and nationwide called Airbnbs. And you guys weren't interested in regulating that. And so that's here, now we're saying, do we want to draft something and bring it back to you and initiate it or not? And have we done that with Airbnbs? You'd said not, stop, was my recollection of how that went down. And on this one, that's just what they're doing here today.
And I want to regulate it. I'm not prepared to say that it should be on at least 12 acres, or shall be no taller than 15 feet on a pole or ground mounted, or 10 feet building height. I'm not ready to get the nuts and bolts of this, but I do think that this is a substantial issue, and that neighboring people have an interest in having the county protect them when these things get put in nearby. So what Bruce is saying is, yes, I do think that we should do this.
Yeah, and what I would suggest is maybe staff set up even a 15-minute meeting with each commissioner just to kind of talk about this and what are your feelings? What do you think of this? And then you guys put that into the pot and try to come up with, hey, here's the consensus. Is that appropriate? Bruce, we've done that before, haven't we? Where staff has talked to people and their feelings.
As long as you're not considering something else a commissioner says, or that's not shared with you. So I think the appropriate direction is for them to start drafting, and they've got a head start on that, get that to you, and then if you have questions about that and say, is this headed in the direction
Yeah.
you philosophically want to
I
do?
mean, I feel like there should be an intermediary step between this one and coming to us for a final approval, because you all are the experts in zoning, and presumably the recommendations you make are gonna be based on something in addition to your own opinion. And I'd like the opportunity to reflect on and understand the direction that the department is recommending. Like, I don't expect you to get it right on the first time. I don't think that should be the objective, is that the next time you come back here, it's for us to approve it. I'd like to be able to reflect as a board on it.
Ray, can you go back though to Cameron's one of his first slides? Are you able to go backwards? Because Bruce, I want to make sure that I'm not incorrect in my thinking here. It's the flow chart, but it goes initiation. One more, I think, maybe, one more, sorry.
Yes.
Because I think what it is I think that intermediate step is the initiation, where they go and they put what their staff expertise is. They will come back at a some point date at 1B and get your feedback as to what they put together as staff. You put some consensus to that, then it goes through these
Yes.
steps, and then it ultimately comes back to you at number 4. So I think 1B is that intermediate step where you have the ability to love all of it, hate all of it, find some middle ground to discuss amongst you as a board.
Before it goes to regional planning.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I think but yeah, I mean, I think we push for this, and we appreciate staff doing this, because I think it's a dramatic waste of time for staff to go and do what they think, and again, with a good heart, they think this is what we should be doing, and then it comes before the board, and it's like, what the heck are you guys doing? No, I don't want this. So then it just wasted, really, taxpayers' resources of paying you guys to do something that we don't like. So I like this model of coming before us and saying, hey, is this something we want to regulate or put into the code? I think you're getting a clear answer of yes. I would suggest maybe then, if it's not going to be, maybe taking the time in very loose terms of, hey, if we want to really encourage this activity, which is what you've already agreed zoning does, we can encourage a certain activity, or we can tend to restrict a certain activity. If we're really trying to encourage this, we want to adopt this type of language. If we really want to limit this activity to certain circumstances, we want to adopt this type of language. That's where I would be more comfortable, and maybe then it's a blend in the middle somewhere. Bruce, does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, and Mark's correct, the process is gonna come back before it even starts down the road of an approval. And the approval process is like almost a 90-day process.
But I can just think about like mixed use, when, you know, I approved all that stuff way back when, and I didn't understand it well enough. It was 100% not my intention. So I'm very deliberate now in when we go and change the zoning code, I wanna be darn well sure of what I'm doing, and that really, at least my individual vote of the three, of knowing exactly what I'm doing here and what are those ramifications, which is exactly on something as minimal as Cameron's, you know, lot size definition. I want to make sure we're not changing the technical definition of how we calculate minimum lot size. Because then also, oh wait, now we can get 8 houses per acre in because you changed that one technical thing. I want to make sure we're not doing that. And so with this is a new thing where there are companies that are focused on doing this on vacant farmland. And are we trying to encourage this? And again, it's free market capitalism if they can do it, but we can also, it's like, well, it's free market, but you can't build a factory everywhere in this county. You can't do heavy industrial everywhere. We have a set of guidelines on where we want certain activities to go, and we try to put that into the zoning code. That's all I'm saying is there's a let it rip, they can put it on every R1 piece of property in the county, or no, it has to be blank.
Understood. Any other questions?
Nope.
So you would like us to proceed to the next step?
Yes,
Thank you for your time.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any other business come before us?
Commissioners, I do have one item, is that if you are interested and you have the time, I know we're a few minutes behind, but Candace has been working with folks relative to the demolition of the old jail. And so Candace, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you want to go knock over some old brick and get a photo op, she can work with you and walk you over and get that done if you got the time. Am I correct, Candace? All righty.
Very good.
Thank you.
Anything else? Hearing none?
Move to adjourn.
Second?
And yes.